excited to be here to do
My
this.
name is Laura Foster.
Guitar player extraordinaire slash resident fun guy at Northside Baptist
Trio Quinn. I'm actually Charlie's cousin.
Neil Baker. Eddie.
Baines Blanton. I'm a junior at Lowndes High
Drew
School.
Peterson. I'm a student at Lowndes High School.
All right, welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to have you back on today. If you introduce yourself and let's keep on going.
What's cracking, everybody? Daniel Holcombe here, worship intern, youth choir director, and everybody's favorite cool dude.
Heck yeah, man. I'm so glad to have you back on today. And we're going to go straight into questions since you've already done this once.
Yeah.
So when you talk about, being with the worship ministry, we talked about it before, but now you've taken a more, serious role with it, being in the youth choir, I guess helming the youth choir, right? Like you're kind of more over it.
Yeah.
And so what's that been like for you trying to plan all the events and things like that?
Honestly, it's a huge learning curve. It's always trying to figure out how I've done things in the past and look to others for, what can I do next? What can I do to improve? Because everything, yes, these events are here to further our church and further the ministry and grow other people, but that may be the primary reason for them happening, but also I take them as, almost tests in and of themselves like you would in school. It's just, every Sunday night that the youth choir sings, I learn something new that I could be doing or find an area that needs work, and then I can put in that work and move to the next thing. So
yeah, and the great thing is, you have Pastor Jeff there. You have people that you can fall back on if you need some advice, you need some help.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like you just got thrown into the deep end and you're like, what do I do next?
One of my biggest lessons so far has been that I don't have to do it completely alone.
No. I mean, you might be, sure you might be in charge of it, but shoot, get as many people you can to help you with that process.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I kind of want to do as well. I'm not handing this podcast over, but my plan is in the future to have Micah on. We're going to start a new segment, and it's going to be where he's going to go in and get some advice or get some stuff. What's going on at Lowndes High School? So we still hear about it after.
Yeah.
After I graduate,
okay.
So we're still getting that. What's going on with our youth, right? And
for sure.
You're a big part of that as well here at Northside as well. What? And also, this is not on my sheet, but what's it been like trying to interact with them, getting to know them, and what's that been like for you just to get to know them better?
So when I first started, and it's been about a year, maybe a little more, but. I was just friends with these people. I was in youth at the same time as them, so it's cool. Especially with the older guys, just getting to see my boys every Sunday night or see my friends. But on the other side of that, some of the younger kids that I don't know, it's a really cool idea to kind of step into this new role and have this first round of people that wasn't in with me in youth when I was acting like a complete moron. It's cool getting to
and you get to be that mentor for them.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I try not to think about it too much because
you're still Daniel.
I'll overthink it. I just want the relationships I build with people to be natural and just let it go from there. And I feel like that's where I excel.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've kind of thought about, at least in my life group, because it's a mixed life group. You got high school and middle school in there, and I'm not going to say that I've I'm just completely mentoring these kids. I'm not. Mr. Brandon, Miss Tasha, they're doing that. But I feel kind of that responsibility a little bit being older, just trying to help them out anytime they need it. It's I don't know. It's just always been there, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And plus, it makes me feel good to know that they can ask me for stuff if they need it. One of the cool things opportunities I got was to let them be a part of something for Operation Patriotism. Recently, they served at the police department with me. And it was all the younger kids mostly. It was some of the high schoolers, but mainly the younger ones. And that was great to see because guess what? I didn't have to do a thing. I just watched them just do the thing.
That's good, man.
And they got to serve, and I think we're probably going to do it a couple times more. But it's just stuff like that. And they were so willing too. They were not hesitant or anything. And it wasn't because of me. They wanted to serve God, and they wanted to serve these police officers.
Well, I think that's really the thing. I think what we're doing here isn't trying to, in my case, it's not trying to teach people to sing good or put on a show or anything. It's really about instilling a heart for service in these kids. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect at it or anything, but if the Lord teaches me something that He wants me to give to these students, and I don't do it. It's not good. Sorry,
Right.
I keep forgetting.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, but you're right though. I mean, you know, like, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity because, you know, like, what if there's something he's really trying to tell you, and and even if one kid needs it, right?
Yeah, and
you know,
it's just a good opportunity. Like I said, they say when you're teaching an instrument, if you teach an instrument, it'll make you better at an instrument. I kind of take that same philosophy when it comes to just a walk with Christ. If you're responsible for mentoring and discipling people, it'll hold you more accountable to your walk with Christ. And it's just good both ways. Yeah,
and you know, it kind of makes me think about, you know, like holding yourself accountable and things like that. It makes me think about too, like when I'm still in high school, like just the stuff you say, because you know, there's like so many. There's like 3,000 kids at my school on a daily basis, and it's like, even if they don't know you, what if they hear you say something in passing as they're passing by, you know? And it's like, and then if they see you again, that's that perception they have of you, and I'm like, you know, it's not, they don't have that perception of Jesus. They have that perception of like, oh, he said that weird thing or that nasty, like whatever, you know? And like, I won't lie, I've had to get better about that, and, you know, and be more intentional of. And, you know, that's the same way with, like, mentoring. You want to make sure what you say is of sound mind and not off the wall crazy, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a consistent walk with Christ, even when nobody's watching, is really just, like, the key for all of that.
And, you know, with the older ones, if you kind of had to find that balance between friend and, like, adult, or was it kind of more friendly, friendly?
I mean, at the beginning it was difficult, but now it's just kind of, like, settled in. I mean, Asa was like one of the first friends I ever made when I came to Northside, so it's kind of weird sitting across from him.
Hey, you got to do this,
but also like, I think at least for me, I'm sure the students have too. But we've kind of found this point where we can separate being friends from when we walk into youth choir and it's time to do youth choir. Okay, it's time to do youth choir.
Yep.
Not in like an authoritative way, but I think we've started to realize that we're all there to accomplish the same goal, and we all want to do our part to get there.
Right. And, you know, leading into these responsibilities, were you nervous to take that on when you were asked?
I think I'm still nervous to take it on.
Yeah.
Not so much because I don't think I can do it, but just because of, like, the weight of being responsible for people, and what we're doing here really affects their walk with Christ and the way they view the church and how they get to serve. And not so much that I think that... I won't even go there. You're like, I don't want to mess up the work that God's trying to do. Right. I don't want the things that I do to be, you know, bad or
and like
spin the church negatively, spin Christ negatively. And I think that all just goes back to having a consistent walk with Christ, being intentional, bare bones, you know, spend time, have a relationship with the Lord, so that, I mean, yes, people, you don't, like, obviously, so you don't, like, fall into habitual sin and all that, but also so that Christ will be in your work ethic and everything that you do, like, to go to work, you're responsible for these people. It gives you a heart of joy to it gives you a heart of joy to do the things that you're responsible for doing.
Yeah, and, you know, like, at least in my mind, if I was in your shoes, I'd be, like, nervous, not just for that, you know, all those responsibilities that you take on, but also for the fact that it's the youth, like, because they are so impressionable at this age, and you want to make sure they are, like we said before, getting the right, you know, doctrine or whatever, you know, getting the right advice, you know, like, and, you know, especially with like schools and everything, and I've discussed this with other people before. You don't know what they're getting taught in public schools at some point, and it can be stuff that's just off the wall backwards from what's here at Northside, and this might be the only time that they feel like, you know, there may be, I don't know, you know, like really can be themselves, you know. And but that's really important for, you know, that's 100%.
I mean, you can't teach school for them, and you can't be there all the time.
Right.
But I know that when they walk into the choir room at 5:00 on Sundays, as long as the things that I say to them are biblical and true and good and will grow them and challenge them, I've done what I'm responsible for doing.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm not speaking for every youth in that choir, but I do believe that if they had something going on, I believe that they feel like they could come to you if they needed it.
Oh, sure.
And that's another thing, too, that Northside's just done a great job of, is if somebody needs something, there's somebody there to,
Yeah.
you know, whether it be
100%.
Noah, whether it be you, Jeff, anybody.
Yeah.
Like that's a great feeling, you know.
One of the biggest draws to this church for me way back when I first started coming was the welcoming atmosphere and just how much the people here knew how to love.
Yeah. I mean, that is so evident because, like, you know, there's so many people that, like, with me joining the choir, you know, I didn't know who the heck a lot of them were. Just being honest, but they, you know, they welcome me in just like any other church member would, and I know a lot of them now, which is amazing, you know.
So, like, my first week here was when they recruited me for the band. And it
Really?
was
So they jumped you in, like, yeah.
Yeah, so I was 14 years old, and a bunch of adults who I didn't know were telling me to come play with them.
That's funny.
So I had to make friends real quick. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the other side of that is they made it real easy.
Which, I mean, that was, you know, and this leads into my next question, like, that was evident for me this past summer, like, with just, you know, how welcoming you guys were for me to come in and everything. Because I won't tell you right now, I was so, like, on the inside, I was so nervous to, you know, to start that. Just because, you know, I didn't know what it was going to be like, whatever. And you've already got this foundation set with all of you guys in this ministry. And there's this new person fixing to come in and, you know, just kind of worm his way in there just for a little bit to kind of learn some stuff.
Yeah, man, it's honestly, like, a lot of places I've been before in the past have been very...
They're not very welcoming, have they?
Abrasive to new people. It's almost like you have to earn your place. And I've never felt like that here. Yeah. Which has been incredible. Yeah.
Which that leads to my next question. What did you think about me when I came, like, you know, about me coming on to help you guys for this past summer?
Well, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of myself in that, man. Like, not in like an arrogant way, but that's what I did when I was in high school. I came because I wanted to help, and I thought it was great getting to see the other side of that coin. Kind of see how Noah felt whenever I was here. And honestly, like, the joy it brought me to see one of our youth that wanted to come serve, dude, it's incredible.
Yeah, and you know, and the fact that I still get to do some of that, you know, coming in early, whatever, is like, even if I know it's a small thing, but like to see when people pick up those Mixed Northside cards every week, you know, it's a joy for me because, you know, God's using what I'm doing up here, even if it's a small thing. Even if they just pick it up and look at what the scripture is going to be, whatever, it's something, you know. And that is all that, you know, matters to me, that I'm helping in some way and doing something.
Oh, sure.
I'd say, you know, like I've told plenty of stories over the summer that I have. Probably the funnest one for me anyway was the 12-hour workday. Believe it or not, was with the Bridgman. I think, you know, like, that was an experience to go feed them. I was like, my gosh, the food and stuff. Like,
those are big days.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't there that day, but
it was.
The days we've done those, they've been very work heavy, but honestly, with the work we do,
they were so rewarding. Though, I enjoyed it.
No matter how hard the work is or how tired I am when I get home, I don't dread getting up for work the next morning.
I'd say over the summer, I did not dread it one bit. Sure, was I tired? Yeah, I'm not going to say that I wasn't, but I mean, I loved every second of it because I knew what I was doing. I was getting up and doing something great, you know, and of course doing VBS mixed in there, doing that for the first time. That was fun. And, you know, getting to see you up there doing your thing, that was funny.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I will let Mickey Way know that you were proud of him.
Yeah, but it's for real. That was amazing.
It's always
and
good.
Like, you know, I don't think I've ever been so tired after those days, but it was so rewarding to do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I had to follow those kids around, and I'm not the fastest person in the world. It was.
Oh yeah, dude. They'll get moving.
Oh yeah,
they
will. It was a good thing for us because me and Audrey, our group, most of our kids, their parents were working here for VBS, and so literally we didn't have to like really wait for them to get dismissed. They just went to their parents, and so it was like, you know where they're at, go disperse, you know. But I'll tell you one thing that kind of cracked me up though, that I'm still not used to it because, you know, I'm still the same age I am now. So when they called me Mister, it kind of was weird, like, to me, because I'm still I'm still a kid.
Yeah, I've established that until I turn at least 27, people will not call me Mr. anything.
Yeah. No.
I feel like that's just a good rule.
Yeah, honestly, I think I might stick to that too because it just feels weird.
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet. You know,
like, you know, like, I'll do it, you know, if you say it jokingly, that's one thing. Like, you know, like Charlie Martin, he'll say like, Mr. Banks, but that's jokingly. That's not like a serious, like, you know, trying to like, I guess respect you, but it just, It felt kind of weird to me.
That's another thing with the younger youth and youth choir. They say yes sir to me a lot. And
Do they?
I gotta tell them not to. Just say yeah or whatever. I was one of you
Oh, yeah.
15 months ago.
That was one thing that I remember when I first started with you guys, I told Pastor Jeff off the rip, and I remember I was sick that first week too, and so I was powering through, but I made sure I was there. But I remember I told him, I was like, if I don't say yes sir, no sir, whatever, I'm not disrespecting you, I just forget. And he's like, oh, you're fine. I was like, oh, because I thought, because of course I've always been raised to say that, to people that are older than me and all that, and not calling you a certain. I'm not gonna say it, but that cracked me up so bad when I called you that.
Yeah.
And I may tease it later, but that was really funny. I swear. Has it and do you ever think about that when an adult does that, and you're just like, well, not an adult, but maybe somebody younger, but you just can't say anything. You're like, it's like, I don't like it, but I can't say nothing because they don't know. Right?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't particularly bother me as long as when youth choir kids call me yes sir, it's more of a fragile ego thing than it is an I don't really like it thing. It's kind of like I didn't think I was old yet, man.
And I was talking about buddy, but that's something else. And I didn't call you that. I just said it. Now that's a whole nother thing. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's something. That's something.
Yeah, and I've even had some young kids tell me that and call me that, and now because you've said that, I see how it feels, and I'm like, oh, that feels weird.
Oh, it's really funny watching it happen to other people, though.
It feels so
I love being in the room when
weird.
it happens to someone else, because I get, they think no one noticed. I noticed, and then I get to mess with them for the rest of the night. It's really fun.
I remember when I accidentally called you that when we were talking with Noah, and my eyes got so, I was like, oh, I know you were joking, but I was like,
it's so good.
Oh.
It's so good.
My eyes got as big as saucers, bro.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me about the mission trip to Mexico that you just went on?
Dude, so good. Such a good trip. I think my main takeaway was that there's no place in the universe, there's no shot at all that I could ever put a limit on what God can do. You go into a mission trip, and I kind of went in expecting something, which is kind of, it's never a good start. But I was expecting 30, 40 people maybe to get saved. We're doing a crusade down in an unreached area. That's great. 430-something people, dude.
And this is a mix of people. This isn't just one age group. This is
kids, adults, parents, families, man. This is it was insane. So the big thing for that was me, but also seeing all these churches that we've planted, seeing Jose's church, man, seeing how effective it is in the community that it's in, seeing how God has blessed our giving and how our obedience has turned into something that has brought other people to Christ was super encouraging.
And I bet it, especially is really encouraging because you hear about the giving all the time. Pastor Robbie or whoever was preaching that morning says oh, we gave and this is where it went, and we're like, that's great. No,
seeing it is something,
and seeing it is something completely different. And I can't imagine so how many people total were there?
30-something maybe. I just work here.
No. I mean, I don't mean going. I mean that were in the crusade things. Not getting saved. There was 500 and something ish.
Oh no, more than that.
More than that.
We saw a lot of people.
Yeah.
I could give you the totals. It was a lot though.
Yeah, and then oh gosh, I can't remember the exact number, but there was a lot of kids that got Christmas then too, right? Yeah. Which is awesome.
That was our biggest day. We had over 400 people saved just that morning.
Just that good Lord, whoa, that's amazing, bro. And I mean to see the diverse I can't speak, the diverse group that went, all the different personalities and all that too. And I'm sure you got to know a lot of more of your church people too.
Yeah, it was really nice, kind of just getting to deepen relationships and really get to know folks. Which, it makes you wonder why you don't do it more anyway.
Right.
But honestly, it really was a blessing. Just getting to spend the time with the team and, like I said, build relationships that otherwise might not have been there. Yeah.
And, that was for me when I came on to help you guys. That was really cool for me to see because, a lot of, I'm not speaking for everybody, but, I'm sure there's some people out there that say, oh, he's the, for you, he's the guy that plays guitar on Sunday, right? That's what your role is.
Absolutely.
But there's more to you guys, you're You got personalities behind that, you know. And there's way more to you guys than that. And it's so cool to see you guys work, like your process and things like that.
And I have a joke with some people that I'm not really working unless I'm holding a guitar.
You're not working right now. You're off the clock.
What do you mean? It's not Sunday or Wednesday, and you're not holding a guitar. What are you complaining about? Obviously, that's just a joke. I feel like I don't have to explain that. You know.
Right.
What I mean.
But, you know, one of the things for me, because I know that I've heard other people talk about their jobs and job experiences, things like that, or if they volunteered somewhere or whatever, they talk about, you know, like, oh, they just treated me like terrible, like, or whatever. Like, and no, that never happened to me.
No.
Because the reason why I bring that up is like because what was so cool to me was how my input was, you know, was wanted
Regarded?
in certain things, right? You know, because like in some things, like they're just like, oh, you work here, you're doing your thing, like. This is like another matter that you don't need to be associating with. But that was like really cool for me because not everywhere like that is going to want your input. And that was just so cool for me, you know. I'm just sitting there at the table like, hey, you want my input? I'll give it to you. I mean, I don't have much to say, but I've got something maybe.
Oh, for sure, man.
You know?
I definitely think there's always a place to share ideas, give input, man. Like, where everybody is, like, valued here on staff, and that's really nice.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell that. I mean, you really can.
Yeah, I've never had to worry about anything like that. No, I don't think anyone has.
Yeah. And, you know, getting to know, like, some people I didn't even know that were on staff that I met through being up here this summer was really cool, too. Like, you know, Miss Brenna, especially Miss Brenna.
No, Brenna's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Love Miss Brenna.
Yeah. Yeah, love Miss Brenna. You know, we have the same birthday, too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I told her, I said, you know, I'm going to do something for on our birthday. I don't know what, but I have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is obviously a joke, but you know what she did for Randy with that die for cake. She told me about that, and I was like, I wouldn't do that to her, but
You should ask her. Yeah, no, that's funny. That's funny. That's so good.
But then she told me about the tape measure. She showed me that tape measure, because I remember I walked in. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was heading back upstairs or something, and I poked my head in the senior suite and I said, "Yeah, you need any help or anything?" And I just see him measuring his tables, like. What in the world? Is he trying to get the distance right?
Very precise man.
Is that what he's doing? Is he trying to get the distance?
Very precise man.
Because I was like, what in the world?
It's about having optimal capacity.
Hey, I get it. You know, because they packed that room in there.
They sure do.
I mean, both areas, which is really, really cool.
Praise God.
All right. So, you know, since I've been thinking about it a lot with it being the final 5 months of, you know, being in high school. What advice would you give to seniors as we enter this final months of high school?
Don't let it go too fast, man. Honestly, it doesn't seem like... I know everybody was probably expecting this big spiritual
No, you're good.
monologue, but quite honestly, man, you have it way easier than you think you do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of structure there that you don't have to figure out yourself, so I would take the time and plan now to structure your life for when you have more freedom, because if you don't, by the time you get to where you do, you won't know what to do and it'll be a mess. Don't ask me how I know that, but
I'm wondering personal experience.
yeah,
No.
really. But seriously, just don't let it go too fast, man. You'll look back much more fondly than you think you will.
Yeah, because you know, like of course, like right now, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I just want to get out. We got 5 months." But then I'm sure we'll look back on it, and be like, I should not have wasted my time just saying that I wanted to get out because now I want back in.
You'll wonder where the time went.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now we're going to do something I don't really do all that often.
Okay.
We're going to play a game.
Love it.
And don't worry, it relates to worship. So.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I would have done more, but it was late when I typed this up, and I wanted to go to bed. So,
Go for it, dude.
so we're going to be finish a lyric. I'm going to read these off.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I want to see.
Oh,
I'm going to stop.
boy.
And then you just got to say the next little bit.
Okay, we're gonna
But
try.
I'll tell you what the song is.
Okay.
The first one's I Believe by Phil Wickham. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, and this is a new one for it.
No, that's why I'm scared.
This is a new one for the choir. I know that. I've been singing it for a
gosh.
while. Okay. I believe there is one salvation.
One doorway that leads to life.
Ding. You got it. Nice.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one is... I should have wrote these down. Oh my gosh, it was last Sunday. Dang it. I can't remember what the song was.
Read the lyric. I got it. We
okay.
did it last Sunday. I got
This
it.
world is not my home, but I'm...
Here, but for a moment.
Yeah. What song was that?
That's Bound for Glory.
That's right, yeah. Because I listened to it last night, and I should have... I was thinking, I probably should write these down right here, but I never did. But my greatest wonder my soul has ever seen.
Is the Lamb of God on Calvary.
Ding, ding, Daniel D-Dawg Holcombe.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Heck yeah, mine too. And the reason I got a special reason for that because I remember, Noah was trying to show me how to put do the lyrics and the pacing, and that just happened to be the song we were doing that Sunday.
Oh, nice.
And so he was trying to show me, and I'm just like, I just remember that it was kind of fun. I'm like, also sitting here thinking to myself, man, if you ever say you can't sing again, I'm gonna
Yeah, really.
no, because the man can sing.
Oh yeah.
And he just like, no, I can't. No, yes, you can.
He's got quite the voice. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll be the first singing youth pastor.
You never know.
Get I don't know if you MC Noah on the mic. MC Noah. MC Blunt on the mic.
MC Blunt.
Oh
Man.
We need to get a T-shirt with
Get
that.
that
on
man
it.
MC Blunt to drop some beats.
Yeah. About not premature Christian dating, huh?
Yeah.
Drop
there
the
you
beats.
Go. There you go. You drop that beat, Noah.
Oh, that'd be funny. But that's all the questions I got for you.
Yeah,
but
man.
is there any thing you want to say before we hop off here?
Not that I know of, man. I think that's it. Just really appreciate this. I think you're doing great with this.
Of course, and yeah, it'll be the first one of March, bro.
Nice.
Yep.
Love
Thanks.
it.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
With another episode of the Young Minds Podcast coming to a close, I just want to remind you that you are never alone and faith is action. So let's get out there.